Hi, welcome to Perthshire Online TV with Gavin Syme
and Vivian Corrigan. So what have we got on the news roundup this week, Gavin?
Well, this week we're delighted to announce at Perthshire Online TV that we have our first community reporter. We're delighted that Francesca Webster is joining us as the community reporter for Highland, Perthshire, and you'll see Francesca later in this week's show. Also, the Rewind Festival, the very successful Rewind Festival at Scone Palace, have announced their lineup for the 20th to the 22nd of July this year. It's really exciting this year. They've got Jimmy Somerville, Mark Ammond, Holly Johnson, Ali Campbell's UB40, so that's a great lineup and promises to be a great weekend here in Perth.
Well, also on a musical note, early 80s Perth band, the Rude Boys, also known as the RBs, are reforming, so that's exciting. That's with original band members Eddie Jordan on keyboards and vocalist Stuart Campbell-Clarke, better known as Sparky. So I'm sure we'll soon get them into the studio for a wee chat about that.
And I believe we have a new celebrity here in Perth. Perth can extend a warm welcome to Maria Fowler, the former TOEI star, who's here living in Perth with her partner Lee Crofts, who's on loan to St John Snupp at McDermott Park till the end of the season. So from Perth, Perthshire and Perthshire Online TV, Maria, welcome to the area and we hope you enjoy your stay. On a sporting front, on the 3rd to the 5th of February at Bell Sports Centre, we have the Yonex Scottish National Badminton Championships. It's always a very, very vibrant event, and it's the 11th consecutive year that we've actually held that here in Perth. So that's the 3rd to the 5th of February at Bell Sports Centre. And on a more serious note, last Friday saw the handover of keys to 10 families who have moved into Tramway Court in Scone off the Perth Road, which is the first phase of the Affordable Housing Perth and Kinross Council initiative, which I think is extending to about 120 houses over the remaining period. So that's a very exciting project, and the keys were handed over to the first tenants just on Friday there. So Vivian, on this week's show?
Well, we hear from Mike Metcalfe from Dunkeld Hilton about the launch of the salmon season, so that's nice. We also hear from Tayside Police and also from Stephen Clarke about the launch of our Waistline online challenge. And you know all about that, Gavin, don't you?
I certainly do, Vivian, I certainly do. We're delighted, as I said, to introduce Francesca Webster, and Francesca is speaking to us today about the Pitlochry Festival Theatre Winter Words Festival. It's also Burns Night this week, so we're delighted to have in the studio Donald Paton from Perth Burns Club for an interview, and he also recites a Burns poem. As well as Burns Night, it's Chinese New Year this week, and we have a very vibrant and long-standing Chinese community here in Perth and Perthshire. And we have Pete Chan, local businessman Pete Chan, in chatting with us, and we also have Elaine Chung from the Perth Chinese community in the studio with us as well. But as they say, it's on with this week's show. Well, last week, especially last Monday, was a very festive day up in the Dunkeld and Burnham area. It was the launch, or the opening, of the Scottish salmon season. I'm delighted today on the show that we've got Mike Metcalfe, who's the GM of the Dunkeld Hilton House. Mike, welcome to the show.
Very pleased to be here. Good morning.
So, tell us a little bit about the event, because it's a very big community event. It's been on the go for quite a while now, hasn't it?
It has. It's very much a community event. It's an event that's been happening in the village for a number of years. And we sought this time to grow it further to involve the business community. Mm-hmm. So very much a local event for the local community who came up to the hotel. If you can recall, the weather on Monday morning was absolutely fantastic.
It was very atmospheric, wasn't it?
It was. People were treated to, those of us who live in Perthshire understand why we're here. Mornings like that, where you have a white hoar on the trees up down the river, you have a mist rolling down the river, you have blue sky. It's freezing cold. We had a couple of fire baskets down there to keep people warm, and everybody there had a nip of whiskey. And between the community event and the chamber business breakfast, we probably had about 250 people strung out along the river, watching Mr. Lomas, the new manager there at St Johnston, casting the first fly out on the boat on the river. It was fantastic. Everybody there thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think we'll grow that event further next year. 120 people supported it from the Perthshire Chamber, which was also a fundraising event for the Tay District Salmon Fisheries Board. A lot of the work, that money goes into ensuring that the salmon stay in the river and that the fishing's there for time to come. So very worthwhile cause. And yeah, great day. It's good.
And a great. It must be very buoyant for the local economy as well.
I think
the sport.
I don't have figures to give you in terms of the value of to the economy of the Tay. I can tell you that tourism in terms of fishing is estimated around about 250 million to the Scottish economy. So it's a sizable. Right up and down the Tay, obviously, salmon fishing. We ourselves have 2 miles of beat from Dunkeld Bridge going upriver. And to us as a hotel, it's an important part of our business mix. Not so much in the huge amount of people that fish, because we have 8 rods on the river at any day. But it's the positioning, it's the part of the mix of Perthshire that makes Perthshire, with its big tree country, with its trees, with its walks, with just natural environment. And, you know, I love the saying about Perthshire that says that, you know, 90% of the Scottish population is within 90 minutes of Perth and Perthshire. And it makes us such a great location as a playground for people to come and relax. And fishing is very much part of that. And just watching it, actually, not necessarily doing it, but watching it. So it's an important part of the economy. Yeah.
And you mentioned about the location and the environment. I know as a venue, at the Hilton, you've quite an initiative moving forward this year as well, haven't you?
Well, I think we just touching on that environmental aspect, we recognise very much from talking to our customers why they come to us, and they very much value that natural environment and being able to get away from the rigours of life, piece of peace and tranquility. Many people come to celebrate. But just in and amongst the surroundings. So preserving that is very important. One of the things we're doing in 2012 is we're going to start putting a voluntary levy, a contribution rather than a levy, onto customers' bills who stay at the hotel. Right. And that will go to Perthshire's Big Tree Country project, which opens up pathways and also preserves the environment. I think these trees, the National Tree Collections of Scotland map several champions from certain species on our estate and elsewhere in Perthshire. And if we don't maintain that and keep replanting programmes going, then that will disappear, maybe not in our lifetime, but in future generations. So there's very much a conservation aspect to it, and preserving it, and for the business at this moment of time, keeping it for them and actually enhancing that by putting in interpretation panels throughout our estate, for example, so people can come and learn about the natural environment. And a third aspect is learning about the history, the context of Dunkeld House and the history of the Dukes of Athol. It's very interesting, lots to do, but very excited about it.
Fantastic. And it was a great festive atmosphere on last Monday, I believe, and a few wee whiskies taken quite early in the morning.
250 people along that vista of that river with that scene that I set a few moments ago. We had a couple of coal fire baskets going to keep everyone hot. Everyone had a nip of Dalmore whiskey. Dalmore supported the event with their new brands of whiskey, which is they have the rivers, the Tweed, the Spey, the Dee and the Tay. So the Tay Dram, which is a new whiskey, was enjoyed by everybody on that cold morning at about 9:30 in the morning out there. We had a parade of rods down to the river with 3 pipers, dressed in their full regalia. It was a tremendous morning, actually. It was very, very good. Yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for your time. Hope you pop back into the studio again sometime soon.
Now, as you know, I'm English. Nothing wrong with that. Well, some people would say there was something wrong with that, but I'm not going to say something wrong with that. But like a lot of Englishmen, I don't know too much about certain parts of the history of Scotland. In fact, there's quite a lot about Scotland I don't know. And one of the things I don't really know very much about is Robert Burns. Now, we do know about all the things that we do at the New Year, and we know about Burns Night, and we know that he was a fantastic poet, but there's lots of things that I don't know about him. Unfortunately, I'm lucky in that I've got a very good guest with me today from the Perth Burns Club, and that's Donald Paton. Donald, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Burns, I know, is something that's really close to your heart and something you're very passionate about it. How did that passion grow?
Well, probably from school days, really. My father was very interested in Burns. He spoke at did Immortal Memories a lot, and I suppose the interest was always around the house, but although he never pushed me to learn about Burns, he encouraged me to learn Scottish poetry, though, which was very important. But when I was at school, we had to learn a lot about Burns. They always said there would be a Burns question in the hires, and if you had enough quotes, it would give you a good chance of getting through. So I virtually learned the whole of Tam O'Shanter while I was still at school.
Wow.
But I think the first time I ever attended a Burns supper was when I was in the Scouts, and I'd be about 15 or 16 years old at the time, and we had to turn up at the church hall and serve the haggis. We were acted as waiters serving the haggis. So that was my first experience of a Burns supper, and then probably a couple of years later I went with my father one time when he was proposing the Immortal Memory at a local Burns supper, and I went along with him and thoroughly enjoyed the experience. And it was after that that I started to learn a little bit more about Burns, and within a few years I was performing at Burns suppers myself. Then I slipped away from it for a long time, and it wasn't really until around maybe in the 1970s I was invited to join the Kinross Jolly Beggars, which is an all-male Burns club that meets once a year for an annual dinner. And then a few years after that, the Perth Burns Club was revived after a long absence of 40 years, and within a couple of years I became secretary of the club, and I still hold that position. So that's really the background to my interest in Burns.
Okay, so trying to break Burns down into some components for me now. How did the Burns night come about? What's so special about that?
Well, the Burns night goes back to just a few years after Burns' death, when a few of his friends decided to remember him by holding the very first Burns supper, which was held actually in Burns Cottage.
Right.
And maybe just a few people turned up, and as a result of that, the Burns night gradually grew in popularity. So it's been going on since not long after Burns died.
What year did he die?
He died in 1796.
1796,
Yeah.
so quite a sensitive time in Scottish history then as well.
Yeah, so you're talking the early 1800s when the Burns nights came into popularity.
Okay. So in terms of worldwide popularity now, the Burns Society goes, and those affiliated to it, or those who are not affiliated to it but support Burns, it's worldwide.
Yeah, there's a Burns Federation. The headquarters are in Kilmarnock, but it's a worldwide organisation. It's known as the Robert Burns World Federation, and there's clubs all over the world, and gatherings, not just at Burns time, but right throughout the year. I'm actually a member also of the Vancouver Burns Club, as well as being secretary of the Perth Burns Club. And we have close contacts with many of these overseas clubs. In fact, in 1990, I was the convener of the World Conference. They have an annual World Conference, and in 1990 it was held in Perth. And I was instrumental in setting that up. So it's very much a worldwide organisation.
So in terms of someone that is perhaps approaching Burns for the first time, because I'm assuming that Burns is a given thing to be taught to children in Scotland, not so much so in England, I have to say. So someone that's approaching it from, I want to start with Burns, but where's a good place to start? Anywhere, or is there a good place to begin?
The best way to start is to buy a copy of his poems and start getting to know him that way, and also to read his letters. The letters that Burns wrote are very, very interesting, and you can learn a lot from them. And then perhaps, if you feel so inclined, come along to a Burns night, or even join a Burns club, and there's always people who'll be willing to help you.
Okay.
And we're very
so
much...
all are welcome then?
Yeah, even English people. In fact, the very first lady president that we had in the Perth Burns Club was English, so there you are.
That's fantastic. Well, that means it crosses everything, really.
It crosses everything, yeah.
Now, your wife is very involved with this as well, isn't she?
She is. She's a singer, and she has been interested in Burns from a very early age and has sung at many, many Burns suppers. And it was actually at the World Conference in Calgary where I met my wife. So,
brilliant.
And she was a singer at that. So, yeah, she is very involved.
Now, you very kindly brought along a variety of photographs for us that we can use in a slideshow, which we have done, and we've also put that slideshow, which is a bit of a surprise to you, to some of the music from your wife. So I think what we're going to do, first of all, I'm going to thank you for coming along.
Right, thank you very
much. We're going to talk to you loads more about Burns, no doubt, on future visits to the studio. Thank you for just giving me a little insight into what it's all about. And I think that everyone, you will absolutely love and enjoy this little montage that we've put together of those photographs that Donald's let us have, along with the music from his wife. So just have a listen to this.
The romantic poems and songs of Robert Burns are well known worldwide, but my personal favourite is Mary Morrison, the words of which typify a life experience which many of us have known. O Mary, at thy window be, it is the wished, the trysted hour. Those smiles and glances let me see that make the miser's treasure poor. How blithely would I bide the stour, a weary slave frae sun to sun, could I the rich reward secure, the lovely Mary Morrison. Yestreen, when to the trembling string the dance gaed through the lichted hall, to thee my fancy took its wing. I sat, but neither heard nor saw. Though this was fair and that was braw, and yon the toast of a' the tune, I sighed and said among them all, Ye are nae Mary Morrison. O Mary, canst thou wreck his peace, wha for thy sake would gladly dee? Or canst thou break that heart of his, whose only fault is loving thee? If love for love thou wilt na gie, at least be pity to me shown. A thocht ungentle can he be, the thought, O Mary Morrison.
Now, as you know, we're all very lucky to be living in this part of the country. One of the reasons why we're so lucky is because there is a very low crime rate in Perth and Highland Perthshire. However, that doesn't mean that we don't have any crime at all. And here with me today to talk about a recent spate of burglaries is Detective Sergeant Graham Lee. Graham, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Barry. Glad to be here.
Now, what's been going on locally?
Well, since the 8th of January, this year, we've had a series of break-ins. There's been 3 break-ins in southern Perthshire, and there's 1 break-in that's happened in the Ganachie area of Perth.
Now, do these break-ins have something of a pattern?
Well, there are some common links to suggest that there may be a common pattern. Basically, the targeted houses are in a rural or semi-rural area, and what they've got in common is an area of open ground, either to the back or to the side, that might afford the person who's broken in a way to approach the house without being seen. Also, we've got a similar mode of entry. It's not that sophisticated. Basically, a tool such as a jemmy has been used to force open a window, at the moment on the ground floor, and if that hasn't worked, they've just smashed the window to gain entry. And once they have gained entry, they've been stealing property like jewellery. So we're not seeing electrical items going away as an example. It's been jewellery predominantly.
Okay, so what areas have been mainly affected?
Right, as I say, southern Perthshire, so I'm talking about Crieff, Comrie, Auchterarder areas and the Ganachie area of Perth. And although, you know, that's where these break-ins have happened since the 8th of January, it may be that they might look further afield if they are travelling from elsewhere. So it's the whole of Perthshire should be vigilant. So
what can the community do to help you?
Right, okay. Well, as you've pointed out to start off with, you know, we're blessed with a relatively low crime rate in the area. So to start off with, you're less likely to be a victim of crime here.
So don't panic.
Don't panic. What I would say is that, as the message, you know, we try to get across is that we can only do our job with the help of the public. I mean, all the police officers live here. We know the community. We're part of the community. And if somebody sees something that is suspicious in the slightest, be it a person they don't recognise going to their neighbour's door if their neighbours are out for the weekend, or a vehicle they see in a driveway that they don't recognise, then please give us a call and we'll operate a 24-hour service, and we'd be delighted to attend and make sure that everything's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed that people are very vigilant, because even though people around here are extremely friendly, they are extremely friendly. It's nice for me as a stranger in the area to, if I go into a shop, just for somebody to enter into conversation, find out a bit about me. And if somebody does drive up a farm driveway and you're not expecting them to do that, there isn't anything wrong in it just making inquiries, because is it better for them to call the police? Is it better for them to approach them directly? What's your advice?
Well, my advice is, you know, for the individual to just apply some common sense. If there's any remote concerns at all, then simply phone us. And like you pointed out, you know, if we receive a call of that nature, we're not going to approach that vehicle or the person in anything other than a friendly manner, polite manner, and just explain who we are and ask them some questions. And if they're there for a perfectly reasonable reason, then you were going to thank them and let them on their way. However, it's through this type of you know, members of the public noticing something that's they're concerned about, that we're going to get a result and catch the people responsible. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, I suppose if I saw a car driving up a road and it just had a man and woman in it, or just a guy on his own, or maybe, I probably would just nip up there and just say, well, who are you? But nicely. But I have to say, if it was half a dozen big blokes in a transit van, I think I'd be called the Tayside police office.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, just apply a bit of common sense. And on the point about the vehicle, if you see a car and the registration number is there in front of you, if you're anything like me, you'll forget after half an hour. So if everyone carries about a mobile phone, just write it in a text. And even when you get a second, phone us up and tell us the registration number, or if you can, phone up right away and we'll stop the car, introduce ourselves and just go over what I spoke about.
So that's one specific area that we can help with. So in terms of the public contacting you directly, and we'll put the details of this up on the screen, who and what and where do they need to contact?
Right, first of all, if it's an emergency and they think a crime has happened or is just about to happen, then phone 999 and we'll respond as an emergency immediately. We operate, as I say, a 24-hour service, and we've got a station, for example, in Crieff and in Auchterarder, and we will get to your call as soon as feasibly possible. If it's something, like you said, maybe there's something at the back of your mind, you're not sure about a car or a person, then the number is 0300 111 2222. That still goes through to the control room, but it's answered as a non-emergency call, and they'll take your message, and what they'll do is they'll pass out a radio message to the officers that cover the area concerned, and they'll respond to it as soon as they possibly can. And for something like this, they will respond and make it a priority.
So in terms of the pattern of what's been happening, you take the view that it's definitely the same people that are doing it, or within reason?
We're keeping open-minded about the inquiry. It may be that it's more than the one person or the one group of individuals. There are, as I say, the slight similarities in terms of the property that's been taken, and the way they've gone about entering, and the way they appear to, the type of property they appear to be targeting.
What about burglar alarms when you're in the house? Is it a good idea to have the zones on when you're in the house?
Yeah, if you can do that. I mean, I've got an alarm system myself in my own house, and if I'm leaving for a day or for work, and then sometimes I just forget to put it on, all I would suggest is, if you're in that position, just take the time and put the alarm system on. If you're leaving for a longer period of time, tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell your relations even, and see if they can check up on your property. And just that type of proactive way of.
So it's a good idea of telling your neighbours you're going to go away for a week or two, just so that they keep an eye on the place.
If it's somebody you trust, your friends and your family as well, and they'll help keep an eye on your property. Okay. Things as well, like properly locking your doors and windows, it's obvious, but things like not leaving valuables on display, and you know, maybe a light with a timer switch, something like that. They're quite easy to fit.
Because you can get some now that do it randomly, can't you? I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, there's simply, if you've got any further questions about the kind of prevention side of things, and we've got crime prevention officers who can come out to your house and see you. And if you want that type of one-to-one advice, then just simply phone up, tell us who you are, and we'll come and see you and give that advice. Because like most people in life, you'd like to avoid the situation happening rather than it happening. Well, just to cover again, you know, we've got a really low crime rate. However, if there is somebody who is looking to break into maybe a vacant premises or a premises where the residents are away for that at that moment in time, if there's a light on or they see an alarm box, then they might drive past. Yeah, exactly. And you know, then hopefully that'll increase the chance that somebody will see them, phone us up, and we'll be able to intercept them. Perfect. Well, Graham, thank you very much for coming along to see us here at Perthshire Online. I've no doubt you'll be coming along to see us for other things that you want the community's help with in the future, and it's always good to have a very good relationship with your local police office as well, because they are there to help support you with things like burglaries, but also to give you advice on crime prevention as well, because if we can prevent it, then that's always good. I'm tempted at this point to say don't have nightmares, but I won't. But thanks very much for watching, and look out for future visits from Tayside Police.
On the 27th of January, Pitlochry Festival Theatre commences its 8th annual literary festival, Winter Words. In 2011, The Guardian concluded that Winter Words was the leading festival of written and spoken word, offering stimulation of the literary kind, which always goes well with a visually stunning setting. And it's on our doorstep. Over 2 weeks, there really is something for the whole family. For those who love a good adventure and travel in general, Sir Chris Bonington will be speaking about some of the most historic ascents of the world's most challenging mountains. I'm going to that one, and I think it will make my single hike up Schiehallion sound pretty pathetic. Explorers a bit closer to home include Anne Barker, who will discuss her travels around Scotland's wilderness and shores to find remedies we Scots have at hand, which we simply don't use, including heather beds and chafe mattresses. Gary Sutherland will be illustrating golf on the rocks, playing 18 rounds of golf on 18 different islands. From the Northern Islands to the Outer Hebrides, Gary will be chatting about the odd variety of golfing hazards he's encountered. And on to food, which is my personal priority. Sue Lawrence will be offering a culinary demonstration and talk on Scotland's amazing produce. Ayrshire bacon to Arbroath Smokies, Sue will erase the myth that us Scots only eat chippies, haggis and deep-fried Mars bars. Slightly off the point, I was recently helping someone do some French, and their past papers included views that the French have on our eating habits, all of which were bad. More foodie events include the array of literary lunches, where you can enjoy a 4-course meal while being spoken to by the likes of Katie Morag author and illustrator Mary Hedderwick. Anne Lindsay, previously interviewed on PerthshireOnlineTV, who will discuss Lost Perthshire, and well-loved politician Dennis Canavan, who will be discussing his 30 years in politics and the devolution. Alistair Darling will also be speaking at Winter Words about his 1000 days at number 11 Downing Street. He will be revealing the last-minute decisions he's had to make, the RBS and Northern Rock crisis, and I believe he will be accepting questions, so get thinking of a good one. TV historian and leading crush of mine, Neil Oliver, will be bringing his big brown eyes to the theatre to discuss the history of ancient Britain. My question will be, can I be in his future? Please. There are so many events for the kids as well, whether they want to look inside nature's giants with BAFTA winner Simon Watt, who will be answering questions such as what is a dinosaur bird and where can you find one, and why do whale carcasses explode? I didn't even know they did. Or perhaps they want to participate themselves with Hyper, which is holding creative writing workshops throughout the event. On that note, there will be both a crime writing and lyric writing workshop for adults. The crime writing will be held by Carol Ramsey, the crime novelist who brought us bestsellers including Atonement and Singing to the Dead. Over 3 days, she plans to evoke your inner evil and get you over any writing niggles you may have. But if songwriting is more your thing, beat Gary Barlow to the next sticking number 1 by attending a songlines workshop. I've merely scratched the surface here. Winter Words has so many wonderful speakers and food that I'd advise visiting their website, which is below, for all of the information.
Well, we've all just celebrated New Year, well, not long ago, but there's a certain part of the community that's still not celebrated theirs, and that's the Chinese community. And I've got Peter Chan here in the studio, otherwise known as the Chop Suey Guru, affectionately called, who's coming to tell us all about the Chinese New Year. Now, Pete, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, listen, you've lived in Scotland for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
How long?
Basically, back and forth all my life.
Yeah.
Most of my life.
And you've also got your business here as well.
I do.
What do you do?
I work in the catering trade. I'm a chef myself.
Okay.
We have 2 establishments in Perth. One is the China Takeaway, where I chef, and also the New Hong Kong restaurant in Main Street.
So if anybody knows about New Year, it's you. So Chinese New Year, what's it all about? Why is it so important to you?
There's an old Chinese proverb that all creatures will be reborn at Chinese New Year. So it's out with the old and in with the new. In the Chinese calendar, it's the most important date in the year.
Yeah.
This year, it falls on Monday the 23rd of January.
Okay.
It changes from year to year, basically because the Chinese traditional calendar is the lunar calendar.
Okay.
Where in this country, we use, of course, the Western Gregorian calendar, Christian calendar.
Yes.
Most calendars now in China, they have both.
Okay.
So that people like myself, second generation, we can follow when the days are.
Yeah.
But this year, as I said, it's on Monday the 23rd of January. That will be the first day.
Okay, so you've got preparations up until New Year. So what's the kind of basic preparations leading up to the Chinese New Year?
Leading up to the Chinese New Year, it's about getting away with the old, getting rid of the old.
Okay.
So you'll find a lot of the Chinese households, the traditional ones, they'll be sweeping up, getting rid of old furniture, basically getting ready to see in the new luck that comes in, hopefully with the new year.
Okay.
They will be purchasing flowers for the house. In China, for example, they'll be trying to buy cherry blossom, traditional plants. The whole idea that if your flowers blossom on New Year's Day, the whole year will be prosperous.
That's fantastic. And the whole New Year is surrounded by traditions and customs that everybody rigorously follows. Is that true?
Definitely, definitely. The festivities begin on New Year's Eve.
Okay, what do we expect on New Year's Eve then?
The New Year's Eve, we usually have a family reunion, and the close family will get together for a meal.
Okay.
And that usually will be the sons with their wives.
Okay.
So if you have a daughter that's married out, they'll probably go to someone else's house.
And what kind of food do you get at a traditional New Year's?
At a traditional New Year, food will be abundant. Each dish will signify or mean something.
Okay.
For example, noodles for longevity, chicken and fish represents prosperity. On this occasion, when chicken and fish is served, for example, something different to my establishment, a chicken and fish will be served whole.
Okay.
Where you'll have the head and the tail. We won't necessarily eat it, but it means a good start to the year and a good ending to the year. Oranges and tangerines, which represent happiness and prosperity and wealth as well. These will be served too.
So in China itself, do they actually, is it more a kind of a family event, or is it a community event as well, where people...
Mostly close family within doors.
A bit like our Christmas, it's when everybody comes together.
Definitely. New Year's Eve is definitely with the family, though. There'll be other customs when the families get together. They'll, with our religion, which we have in China, apart from obviously Christianity and Muslim faith, the main religions in China are Taoism, Buddhism, and Confucian, and it's very unique. It's a very unique situation because most people practice them all, and within this religion we worship our ancestors, and you'll find there'll be an offering or prayer to the ancestors because they are responsible for the good fortune that we're wishing for the younger generations.
Now, talking about good fortune, I notice you've got something just poking out the top of your pocket there. What's that all about?
This one's not for you, but this is
that not for me?
This is for one of my children, one of my sprogs.
Okay, shall I just show that so everybody can see that? Can you explain the significance of this?
Well, this would be filled on Chinese New Year's Eve with money. It will always be an even amount of money, because even is prosperity and luck, and it's given to people below you, such as your children or your employees or people that aren't married.
Okay.
And usually we give 2 for luck.
Okay.
On the opposite end of that, the odd numbers is what we give for funeral payments. If somebody is making a donation to funeral payments, it's usually odd. So lucky is always even.
Are they always red as well?
They're always red. Red represents happiness. Happiness.
That's why we're wearing red, because we're very happy. Now, also you might want to know, on our downloads on our website, we've actually a template that you can download and print out. So if you want to make your own envelopes with does that look very Chinese?
Definitely. Good.
Well, you can also print your own out, and if you want to use that idea and give presents, give money, you can do as well. Now, the Chinese New Year is very exciting. What about the lion dance and things like that? Is that associated with the New Year?
The lion dance brings good luck to the front door and the household.
Okay.
And the household. We'll be having a lion dance at our festivities on Monday. We're having a Chinese New Year gathering. In your own household, going back to
to Chinese New Year's Eve, one of the customs we also do is we open the doors and all the windows at midnight to let the old year out, let all the bad luck go. Other things which are done, you get a haircut, you buy something new to wear for New Year's, specifically red, as we said, and also orange, which also means prosperity. Red for happiness and orange for prosperity. Okay,
well, going back to food as well, you've also brought these sweeties in, which are very traditional at your New Year as well. So if we could just go through those, have a look at those up close and personal. There you go. If I point these out, can you explain which one's which? What's this one?
Sure. Well, this is a round of sweets. It's called the round of togetherness.
Okay.
Basically for all the family to share.
Okay.
Eat them together. And sweet for a sweet beginning to the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this one?
This one is sweetened longan, which is a type of tree fruit.
Okay. This one?
Coconut.
Coconut.
Sweetened. Winter melon.
Winter melon. Fantastic.
Lotus root. I believe the lotus root.
And you've got this one here.
And that's carrot.
Carrot?
Sweetened carrot.
Yeah, well, we have carrot cake, so it's very similar, I suppose. And then you've got this one here.
Which is shredded coconut again.
Shredded coconut again. So that's just an example of some of the sweets. Now, would the whole family share those?
Yes, and I'm going to leave this one for you.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to be sharing it or not.
You have to share for luck.
Gavin and Vivian and Lorraine and Barry will all be watching this and be saying, "Oi, where've those sweets gone?" I said, "Oh, I don't know, I'm not quite sure." So that's the New Year. So does that carry on at the actual New Year? Is that kind of the celebrations? Do you have lots of fireworks and that then?
Well, the next day, we don't have many fireworks in this country because they're not allowed.
Okay.
They're not allowed. But sometimes there are exceptions. The next day is a very lucky day, New Year's Day itself. The Chinese believe whatever happens on New Year's Day determines the rest of the year.
Yes.
So we have to be very, very careful. There is no falling out. There is no arguing.
So you've got to be nice to each other.
You have to be very, very nice to each other. We usually find, as a custom for Chinese household, we'll adorn the house with all the Chinese decorations and writing.
We've got a few examples here in the studio. We've got the lamps going, the lanterns going round there.
The walls will be adorned, as I said, with Chinese sayings such as, you may know the most famous one, which is Gong Hei Fa Choi.
Oh, I know that one amazingly, so yes.
I wish you to prosper.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
And another one would be San Dai King Hong.
Oh, San Dai King Hong.
Which means, I wish you good health.
I wish you good health. How do you pronounce that again?
San Dai King Hong.
San Dai King Hong.
That's Cantonese. That's Cantonese.
Oh, Cantonese.
Which is our... Majority of people in Perth speak Cantonese because that's where we're from, Hong Kong. From Hong Kong. So there'll be these sayings all over the walls. There'll be the handing out of the lucky money or the red envelopes to the children. And there'll be family gatherings, festivals, feasts of the same.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're going to have an exciting time here in Perth. And have you got your plans already for this New Year, where you're going to be celebrating it?
I do.
You do? And that's a nice big event which we'll be talking to Elaine, is that?
Elaine Chung.
Elaine, and we'll find out all about that a little bit later on in the show, so watch out for that. But listen, thank you so much for coming on and explaining about the Chinese New Year. I'll look after the sweeties for everybody. And would you like to wish everybody in Chinese Happy New Year?
Yes. Gong Hei Fa Choi.
Now you can download this design direct from the website and you'll be able to make a fantastic Chinese New Year red envelope. Very simple and easy to do. Now all I've done is printed this out and I've put it on some nice shiny paper, and all I've done then here now is cut it out. So you can see there it is cut out, very simple and easy to do. Now all you've got to do is get a ruler and something that's got a blunt pointed end. This is just a knitting needle. And what we're going to do is take from there to there. You've got the natural cuts here, there, once you've cut it out. And you just line the ruler and then just take the point of the needle there and you're just making an indentation so that when you fold this, it will fold perfectly. It's difficult to show you there, but it's there. You can just see it there. Anyway, I'm going to do that on all four. So there's the first corner there. and then line your ruler up and just go from corner to corner again, and turn it round, and again corner to corner. And I've got, at the risk of repeating myself, corner to corner again. So that's all done there. So you've got like a square in the middle. Then you can see there that's all been scored. Now all I've got to do is fold that where the scores are, and they will fold over naturally. Now if I turn it over like so, you can see now how that is going to fold there, and it will crease perfectly in the right position. You're not going to get any puckering. So that's the bottom part of the envelope. Then we're going to fold over the sides, which go over the top there like that, and then turn it round and fold over the next one. And because you've got the crease there, it'll fold exactly where you want it to, like that. There you go. So there's the envelope, and then you've got the lip of the envelope there, and that folds down over the top. Let me just find where the crease is. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Found it. So there you go. There's my envelope, as you can see. But you can see that's going to open up. So all you've got to do is open it up again like that, and just find a glue. I've got a glue here, a glue stick, and all you need is a little thin line of glue down there and down there, and then press that one down like so. That will stick. Press that one down like so. That will stick. You've got the envelope like that. Put the money in there. That is your Chinese red envelope to give a good look in that. And then when you've put the money in there, all you've got to do is either put a little sticker over the top there or a little bit of glue to glue it down. So it's very simple and easy to do. There is your envelope. So just download it, cut it out and make it. Now, we have many different communities here in Perth and Perthshire, and one of them is the Chinese community. And quite often when Chinese people come to this area, they're a little bit isolated and that. Well, there's actually a fantastic lady and an association that helps Chinese women and children. And I've got Elaine Chung, is that right? Elaine
Hello.
Chung, yeah, here from the Perth Yin Chinese Women's Association, which is a mouthful, but can you just explain a little bit about what that means? What does the association do?
Well, the Chinese Women Association is like, we're thinking about a lot of Chinese women. They're maybe from Hong Kong, they're from China. They come to this country, maybe not used to this life, so we are helping them to have a settle down and helping their family as well. So
it's a fantastic community support for Chinese ladies and their children who live in Perth and Perthshire.
Yes.
To help them get used to the community, to the different traditions in Scotland, and all that kind of thing. So you all help one another, which is fantastic. How long has this been going? Yeah, we've been have this community for over 20 years now. Over 20 years now? Yeah. Which is fantastic. This year we are trying to celebrate the 20 years anniversary. Oh, great. Yeah. So it's a big celebration. We'll come to that in a little while because I know you're doing something special. Yeah, okay. So how many members roughly do you have at the moment? Now we have over 40. Over 40 members, yeah. And that's not including the children. It's like and all the extra bits. Just the lady. Oh, just the ladies. Yeah, just the ladies. Just the ladies. Not include their husband or not include their. So you don't children. Encourage men? Yeah, no. No, it's just support for the ladies. Yes, just do all the work do all the work anyway. Yes, yes. Now listen, if somebody's watching this and they've not a member yet, but they're aware of it, is it easy for them to join? Yeah, it's so easy. They can join any time. So what's the point of joining? What benefits do they get? Yeah, we had lots of classes. We have English classes? Yeah, English classes and computer classes. Computer? And Tai Chi classes. Tai Chi? And maybe mandolin classes. Mandolin? Yeah, And you do lots of different outings to different places? Yeah, we have a lot of activities as well, like a day out to Glasgow, to Edinburgh, Isle of Skye. Yeah. Yeah, and barbecue as well. Yeah. Yeah, so the Perth Yin Chinese Women's Association is fantastic community help and support to all Chinese women that are living in this area.
Yes,
now, I believe you have a very special Chinese celebration coming up that you've organised, and you've even got the Chancellor.
Yes,
Councillor of the
Council General,
the Council General of China, is
yeah.
coming up from Edinburgh to celebrate as well with the Provost. Yeah. And you've also got a fantastic event happening on Monday night, which is the 23rd, is that right?
Yes, 23rd of January. Yes.
So that's celebrating your new year.
Yeah,
so what special have you done this year?
Yeah, and this event we had a lot of special about the Chinese, like lion dance.
Yes.
Like the lady have a show is called Dragon Boat on Land.
Okay, the Dragon Boat on Land.
Yes, and have the magic show as well.
Magic?
Yeah, magic show for the children. I think they like the magic show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got a little note here as well that you've also got the lion dance. You've got the songs of
Cantonese opera.
Cantonese opera. How posh is that?
That is a very famous for the Cantonese. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've
because in Perth, I think it's 90% people is Cantonese. So they think I think they will be interested in that.
Mm-hmm. So you've got singing in there. You've got musicians. Have you got dancing?
Yeah.
Will you be dancing, or have you got dancers doing it?
Not the really dancing, but it's a Chinese traditional dance. It's called Dragon on Land.
Dragon on Land.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And where is this?
Dragon Boat on Land.
Dragon Boat on Land, and that's the dancing side of it.
Yeah.
And where will this be held? The Salutation Hotel?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah,
so we got that right.
Salutation Hotel, yeah.
So if we've got any Chinese ladies who are watching this and they want to join, you would recommend that they get in touch with you, and it'd be a fantastic support for them.
Yes.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us all about your New Year's celebration. And if you want to know more about it, obviously go to the web. Do you have a website?
Not really now, but yeah, we're thinking about it.
Okay, well, if you get in touch with us here at PerthshireOnline.tv, if you want to join, we'll pass your information on to Elaine and the rest of the association so that you can join in. So how do you say Happy New Year in Chinese?
We normally say 恭喜發財.
恭喜發財.
Yeah.
To you too. Now we've got some fabulous downloads for you if you want to make this beautiful Oriental lady. And Year of the Dragon, you've even got the dragon there in the dress. Now, the Oriental lady is in 4 different sizes. I'm going to show you those in a minute. But you can do lots and lots of different crafting with them. You can do decoupage, you can do cover some trays in them. You can do all sorts of things. You can make like chain ladies. You can decorate them with silk flowers. You can do all sorts of things. But this is a great download, and you've got beautiful designs. Now, this is just an example. Don't forget, if you go on the website of iCraftOnline.com, there's also lots of different other options. Now, this is the lady there, the Oriental lady there, and you can see it's almost a bit like a Russian doll, isn't it? Similar-ish, but you've got the hairstyle there, and you've got the dragon there. You've got 9 on that page, so you could do a long one. You could do a chain of them. You can use them as invitations if you're having an Oriental party. Then you've got the large size there, well, the small size, but you get 4 to a page on that one. And again, you can see that, and you've got the lovely face there, a beautiful little complexion there, the Oriental face there. And you've got this one, which is 2 to a page, as you can see, and there you can see the dragon much better. On the large one, you'll see that even better still. That just go in there. And there, again, is the last one. Again, it shows you lots of different things you can do with it. Now, before I make this, what I'm going to do is just show you some of these cards and just give you an idea, then we'll have a go at making one. Look at that one, isn't that beautiful? So you've got just 2 of the little Oriental ladies there. This would be good for a New Year card or anything really that you want to do. If you've got some Oriental friends or whatever, you've got there, and that just flips into there. You've just got a little bit of card, you've got some matching paper there, and that is a very simple card. They've got another example of another card here using the small size. That was the mini. This is the small size, and that's basically just a very simple card folded, and you can decorate it up more if you want to. But this one's actually been decoupage. We're going to show you a version of that, where you've used the 4 designs and cut bits out, the hair, the layers, so you get more of a full rounded effect there for your Oriental lady. Finally, this is the one similar to this that we're going to make here, and it actually, look, you could have loads of these. You could have them in the 4 different sizes. You could make really kind of nice decorations for your mantelpiece. If you're having a party, you could string these up so you've got like buntings going along, but you can print them out as many times as you like. So I'm going to do a version of this one and show you how simple and easy it is to do. So first of all, I've got a piece of card. Now I've chosen a piece of red card because I think that's very Oriental. You could use black, which is also very Oriental. Choose whichever colour that you want. I'm going to be a little bit wasteful this one. You can choose a piece of card that's exactly the right width, but I'm just going to use this one for now. All I'm going to do is fold this over, and you can do that very simply. And the way I do it is just fold it over there so you get that kind of wave effect there. Just make sure the corners are corners, and then just press down gently the edge here and you'll get a gentle crease. But then if you take something that's flat like this, rounded, if you just gently go over, you'll get a really nice sharp crease there, so it really makes the card look really good. You've got the natural fold going over. Now next what you've got to do is, on this particular one, this is the size that I'm doing, there's the sheets that I printed out, and you only need to print these out when you need to use them. What I've done is cut out the first one, so I end up with that. That is cut out. And secondly, I cut this section out, which is that section there. And lastly, I cut the hair out, and I've put double-sided foam pads on the back there like so. So that fits over there. So that's the one that we're doing. So you only need to print out one sheet, and that makes this card. Fantastic. You can make thousands if you want to, as many as you want to. I've got the first design here, and I've got a glue pen. You can use double-sided tape if you want, or glue, whatever you want. But this one, I've got my glue pen here, and I'm just going to go all over it, and I'm going to stick this directly down onto the card. Now you need to make sure you get it in the right place, because the card is going to open like that. So you need to make sure you stick this down here into the edge like that, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a border all the way around because I want to leave a little bit of red showing, and that's going to stick down there. Try and get it, I'll do that again, try and get it straight, the bottom. It's all right for you, like I'm doing this upside down, back to front, and then just stick that down. Take your time doing that, you're not like me on a time scale. So there's the card. Now you could decorate that up and leave it like that if you want to, but what I'm going to do is make it a little bit more like a doll, so it kind of, it's freestanding. So all you've got to do is cut round this. Now I'm just leaving about 1/4 of an inch or a couple of centimetres or something all the way around it. And you just cut this out gently. Try and be as neat as you can. You can see I'm cutting that there, and just cut out neatly as possible. And I'm going to cut round the edge here as well, and I'm leaving that border all the way around on this particular one. I'll compare it with the other one earlier on that I showed you. So I'm just cutting round, and I'm getting a nice border even all the way around. Go down to the edge here, but don't cut right through, just cut. So you've got some card here, so I've cut that piece off, but I've got some card here that's actually holding it together. Now you could stop there if you wanted to and have a card that's like that, and it opens up like that. But you could even define it even more. And what I'm going to do is, just this little bit here, I'm going to trim that one out. So I'm just going to start, don't cut right through where the crease is, otherwise it's all going to fall to pieces. Again, just cut down the edge here like that down so. I could leave it like that if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to finish off by just cutting that little bit out there. And because I've left that red border all the way around it, it just kind of frames it. So there you go, there's your card finished. Now you can decorate this even more if you want to. What I've done here, as I said, I cut out this section, that's the decoupage. This just gives it a little bit of a raised effect. So that's going to fit over there like so. And stick down. And then we have the hair, and that's going to stick over the top. It just makes it a little bit more fuller and a little bit more kind of interesting. So there's your card finished, and then you can stand it up and it looks like that. And as you can see, this one is made exactly the same way, but I've not left the border all the way around it, so that's more, if you see them both together like that, it's exactly the same size, as you can see, but one's got the border round and one's not. It's entirely up to you. And this one's been decorated with a little happy health there. So you've got those. So simple and easy to make. All you've got to do is print them out and download them. Well, download them, and you can print them out as many times as you want, and you've got beautiful Oriental ladies.
So here we are with our fitness expert, Stephen Clarke. So we've chatted on previous shows, Stephen, about healthy eating, and Gavin's put himself up for the Waistline online challenge because he wants to lose a bit of tummy fat or tummy weight. So we thought it would be a good idea to team him up with a fitness friend, didn't we? We thought that would maybe help and encourage him because he needs all the help he can get. And Elaine Christie from Scone has agreed to help him.
What a great fitness friend she will be.
She will be fantastic. She's really up for it, isn't she?
Yes, yes.
So what is the situation so far?
Well, we've met up with both of them. I've taken their waist measurements, the all important one. They've taken their weight, their waist measurements, their body fat percentage, just so we can get them on paper, in black and white, on paper, so we can see where they are.
That's good, excellent. Well, I caught up with each of them individually earlier on, and let's see what they have to say for themselves. So Elaine, you've agreed to be Gavin's fitness friend.
I have.
Now, do you know what you're taking on here?
I think so.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep each other motivated.
I hope so, yeah.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? So
yes,
that's good.
Yeah.
Now, you're 38, you're a mum of 4, you're from Scone.
Yes.
You work part-time as a hairdresser, so
I
you're
do.
very busy.
I am, with the 4 children, yes.
You
yes,
are,
I am.
So, what has brought you to this stage?
Oh, just, I've never been great with food. I just like it too much. That's my problem, you know. And yeah, I'm a comfort eater, so whenever I'm down or anything, you know, I comfort eat. You know, I eat at the wrong times in the evenings when the kids are all settled, you know, a glass of wine, a few nibbles, you know.
It's a dangerous time.
It is,
yeah.
Really and some years ago I was a widow, so again, another point in your time where you're just comfort eating.
I know, you've had a tough few years.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
And you lost your husband a few years ago when you were very young, and you were on your own with 3 children.
Yes, I was.
Now, happily, you've remarried,
and
you've had another baby.
I have, yes.
And you did lose weight for your wedding.
I did. I lost quite a lot of weight. I lost a couple of stone, and I felt really good, felt great, because you do have more energy when you do. But, you know, just Christmas came, just got back into all the old eating habits again, and yeah, it's just, I just really feel this time I've just got to do it and keep on track.
You're really
I want to change my lifestyle. I want to change and be more healthy. I want to be there for my children, Vivian.
That's good, because it's not just about losing weight, is it?
No.
It is about being healthy.
Yes.
So that's really good. Now, I also know that you've been a member of a gym for quite a long time.
I have, yes. I mean, I think everybody thinks that you join the gym and then you should lose weight, but it's putting the work in. But you've got to put the work in, so.
And I've been out running with you in the past. You've been out with the pram, running as well.
Yeah.
So you have really tried.
Yeah, I do. I get motivated and then I just lose motivation. So hopefully with you guys supporting things, we're going to keep motivated, and I'm going to have that bikini body for my holidays.
That's right. You've got a nice holiday booked for the summertime.
Yes,
I know, and you're looking forward to that.
I'm really looking forward to it,
So, well, we're all behind you. We're all going to help you. And
Yep.
you've got Gavin.
Oh, great.
What more could you want?
Yeah.
So we'll catch up with you in the next few weeks and see how you get on.
Right, thank you.
Okay. So, Gavin, you've set yourself a fitness challenge to get fit and healthier for 2012. Do you really know what you're taking on here?
You know, Vivian, not completely. I've gone up and down with my weight over about the past, I would say, probably about 15 years. I always feel it's kind of been in 5-year peaks and troughs. 5-year cycles is the best way to put it. I put on a lot of weight when I moved through to Edinburgh at one point, and then I went and did all my, you know, when Step Reebok and things was really popular, I kind of lost a lot of weight. I actually felt maybe I lost a bit too much.
Right.
Then travelled quite a lot business-wise in the late 90s, and living in hotels and things, my weight ballooned again a little bit. Then when I lived in Cape Town, you know, body beautiful people over there, I got rid of it all again. It was real sort of Jim Bunny style, you know, and I was going regularly 3-4 times a week.
But we're in Perth now.
But we're in Perth, I know, and the thing is, yes, I do know what I've taken on board.
Good.
Am I looking forward to what I've taken on board? Am I self-motivated? No, I'm not. As an
Well,
individual.
you know we've got your fitness friend with Elaine Christie,
I know.
so she's going to encourage you as well as us. Now, you said you are busy, you're a businessman, you're 44, the middle-age crisis as well. I know it does get more difficult as you get older, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does. But also you're a social butterfly, as our Gavin. You're out to business lunches and meals and social occasions a lot, and that does make it difficult.
And I don't need, I don't need to have my arm hardly twisted to go out of an evening.
No, I know. And let's face it, your idea of your 5 a day is a vodka and orange, isn't it?
Only one.
So you're not a member of a gym. So how do you think you're going to achieve this? What's your plan?
Well, I have been a member of a gym, but I didn't get myself motivated very well to go to the gym.
Now, Elaine said this as well, because being a member, that doesn't mean that you're going to lose weight, does it?
No. So, I live in Barossa Place just by the North Inch, so I kind of feel that I've got the best open-air gym that I should be making use of.
Yeah.
I've got access to a bike, so I'm kind of deciding at this point that this should probably be the motivation over the next 3 months to say, well, don't try and do the same old thing again.
Yes.
Gavin, go and do something a bit different.
Yes.
So let's change it completely. As it's coming into springtime and things, then let's look at the programme that's going to be taking me outside of my comfort zone and maybe be getting me more motivated and some exercise that's not gym-based.
Yeah, and I said this to Elaine, but do you really feel you're determined this time?
Yes, I am determined.
Good.
I am determined because I've even had my parents saying over the festive period, oh, you've put on a wee bit of a
yes.
wee bit of
well,
a
we're
stomach.
going to speak to families as well because I think everybody needs help and encouragement, and so that would be good. Your mum and dad will be able to help you, so that's really good. That's really good. Well, we're going to catch up with you in the next 2 or 3 weeks and see how you get on. Okay.
That's great. Thank you.
Well, Stephen, we've certainly heard from them, and I just hope you and I haven't taken on more than we can chew, because we know what they can chew.
Absolutely.
But anyway, now they've both got 2 completely different lifestyles there.
They do.
Don't they? So taking Elaine first, because her lifestyle is kind of dictated to her by the family, isn't it?
It is. Elaine sees her lifestyle as a mother.
Yeah.
She sees her priorities are her kids. Looking after the kids, making sure that they're fed and watered, and then going out to our part-time job to bring extra money in. And she sees that as the challenge in herself.
Yeah.
I think we need to kind of get Elaine past that. I think we need to give her the tools she needs so that she can handle her lifestyle and the healthy eating and the exercise along with it. And I will work very, very closely with Elaine so that they can tie the 2 together, and it's not so much here's my lifestyle and I have to eat along with it. We can put the 2 together, and she can have a healthy lifestyle. Because
she has been here before. I mean, she said this. She's tried, and lost weight many times before, really over the years. But this time, she really wants, especially for health reasons. Because looking at the statistics, I know you had your consultation with her.
I did.
Now, she's bravely agreed for us to reveal her statistics. So, what is the situation?
Well, when we did the weighing with Elaine, we took her weight to start with, which is 14 stone 7, 14.5 stone. The main figure that I'm going to look at is a body fat percentage.
Right. Why is that so important?
Our body fat percentage is it's exactly as it says. It's a percentage of a body that is fat, as body fat, and a female should be anywhere between 20 and 35%. Now, at the moment, Elaine is 45, so she's 10% over the normal range. And like Elaine says, she wants to be kind of fit and healthy for our kids, and we need to get her down to the 35% as quickly as we can, really, but in a safe manner.
Now, going on to Gavin, or maybe we should be calling him Sporty Spice. I know. Now, Gavin is not particularly overweight, is he?
No, he's not. He's not.
So, but, I mean, what is the situation?
Now, well, everyone's heard of BMI, which is body mass index. Now, according to the body mass index, Gavin's not overweight. For his height, his weight is absolutely fine.
He's got a bit of a belly, though.
He does, and that's the worrying thing with Gavin. His waist measurement is actually the the concerning factor, you know, and it's the thing that everyone notices. Like he said himself, his parents have noticed. Now, and I think everyone knows that a large waist measurement for males especially can lead to heart disease.
Yeah.
Now that brings me on to the other worrying factor with Gavin is his blood pressure.
Right.
Now, like I said, he's not overweight, he does have the big waist measurement, but his blood pressure is veering on the kind of high end.
And he's a bit of a snacker, as we know, because I'll tell you, under this news desk there's enough Scooby snacks to feed a small country. So he's going to have to watch that, he's going to have to cut that out.
He does. And again, I will work closely with him on a one-to-one basis to get a way of living, or a way of eating, and you know, he said himself he is very sociable. So it's not taking that away from him, but giving him the right information, the right knowledge, so that he can continue with his lifestyle, but in a sensible manner, you know, and make the right choices when he's out.
Right.
Because I would like to get his blood pressure down as quickly as I can as well.
So you've given them both programmes. You've been in the gym with them. Now, well, Elaine's more gym-based, isn't she?
I've been in the gym with Elaine and given her a gym-based programme. Gavin, we're going to get out in the fresh air. And
literally get him on his bike.
Absolutely. We need to get him on his bike and get him working.
Now, I thought, Stephen, that we might have a little bit of fun with this as well. And I thought that, you know, because we don't want it to be boring and we do want to have a giggle. So I thought what we would do is we would maybe introduce a treats and forfeit system. So if you set them the target of what they have to achieve. Now, they have to work together on this.
I could do that.
You could do this. And, you know, we could give them little treats.
Well, do you know, I've already set Elaine a target for 2 weeks.
Right.
I've not set Gavin a target yet, but I can work on that.
Right.
I need to see what he can do first before I set him a target, but I know what Elaine can do. She has got a target. Now let's get Gavin a target as well.
So, well, that's what we'll do. We'll do this, and also I'm sure we'll come up with some really tough forfeits. If they don't manage it. Okay, that's down to you. I'll look after treats, you do forfeits.
I can do the forfeits.
Okay,
definitely.
So I look forward to catching up on this in the next 2 to 3 weeks and see how they get on.
Great.
Okay. Normally we don't associate Perthshire as being a hot spot of crime. But I'm joined by Sadie Allen today, Community Police Officer for Kinross. Now, Sadie, what has been going on in Kinross? There's been a bit of fire raising, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Tell us about it.
We've had a number of vehicles set alight deliberately, along with a charity clothing bin and also a derelict building as well in the Kinross area.
Right, so that's not good at all. Now, when did this all happen?
It started a few weeks before Christmas. There's a couple of incidents before Christmas, and there's been a couple since Christmas as well.
Right, and is this during the day, is it evening?
These have been happening in the evening, from about sort of 5 o'clock in the evening up until about sort of 10 o'clock in the evening.
Right, now do you have any idea who is involved in this?
At this stage we don't. We've been making numerous enquiries and obviously working with our partner agencies and Tayside Fire and Rescue as well, but we don't have any suspects at this moment in time.
Right, now this isn't just about property damage, is it? I mean, no one's been hurt yet. What could be the circumstance?
Fortunately no one's been hurt as yet, but fire in itself is putting so many people at risk, and like I say, we've just been fortunate so far that no one's been injured.
Right, so you're here to make people aware and to be vigilant. Would you say that is the message?
That's definitely the message. We're asking people to let us know if they hear anything or if they see anything, even no matter how trivial they might think it is, it's still important to us, and we would ask that they contact us.
So thanks for watching this week's show, and if you would like to join in on our Waistline online challenge, then please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you, wouldn't we, Gavin?
We certainly would. We like to hear your news and your stories from around Perthshire, so thank you very much for continuing to watch the programme and for supporting us and sharing and spreading the word. Our viewing figures are increasing on a weekly basis. We do want to hear from you. You can contact us via email, via Twitter or via Facebook. And we'll see you next week.